for help when we go through life. So he did what I asked, and he did two more things. I didn't have to pay one loan. I didn't even have to get a loan. And he made me valedictorian of this class. So, thank y'all. So I wanted to let everybody know, if we ask God, he can do exceedingly abundantly above all that we think or can ask. This is why I trust and credit God for everything I have and will have. As 1 Corinthians 1:31 says, that according as it is written, he that glorieth, let him glory in the Lord. I thank God for who he is in my life, and I thank God for my parents and my family. I love y'all too. For all their unending support and love, encouragement, and prayers for me. I also thank him for allowing me to have intelligent and caring teachers and staff to guide me along the way. As a double major in English and journalism, I thank God for Dr. Strayer for not leaving until we graduated, Dr. Data, Dr. McCormick, Mr. Miller as an interim professor because I worked with him, and Dr. Andrews, and so many others in the audience today. I especially want to thank God for Professor Romeo Reese for being my senior project advisor and teaching me about production, both audio and film, because I plan to use those skills he taught me at my church. And I also thank God for Tamlin L. Peterson for being my senior thesis advisor and constantly reminding me to have a thesis statement on paper and in life. To lead up to my thesis statement, I want to say many may not believe in Jesus Christ, but I am a living witness that John 15:5 is true. Jesus said, I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, ye can do nothing. So I'm not as smart as everybody is smart and as hardworking as you may think. But God gave me the strength, the mind, the wisdom, and the favor to complete this chapter in my life. And I know he'll help me through the next one. So I share my thesis statement in life with my fellow graduates and everyone in the audience. We can succeed in everything we set our minds to do and more. However, we can do nothing alone because we need God and everyone he puts in our lives. Even the things we go through in our lives are there to teach us a lesson. But it is how we respond to these lessons. If we use our triumphs and trials as stepping stones to become greater and more positive people in life, we will go far. Thank you.
Marvin F. Thomas, a native of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, was raised in the light of civil rights work in Alabama by a mother who was integral to its progress. He learned early the importance of hard work and focused goals, and his career has been a single trajectory of service through education and faith. Marvin Thomas earned his degree in history from Stillman College, his Master of Divinity from the Phillips School of Theology at the ITC, and his Doctorate of Ministry from United Theological Seminary. He has served his alma maters faithfully as faculty member, administrator, and as trustee, realizing that advancement and opportunity come through education and service. His commitment to the work of the church is evident in his pastoral service from Chicago, Illinois to Lithonia, Georgia, and points in between. He was elected as the 62nd Bishop of the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church, serving in the 1st Episcopal District in Cincinnati, Ohio, where his work for social justice led to a formation of a mighty stream an interfaith community of activists. His more recent appointment to the 1st Episcopal District in Memphis, Tennessee, brings him back to a historic center of civil rights work where his personal and professional stories align with the work for justice in society. Bishop Thomas has an illustrious career of service through education and through ministry, focused on the elevation of all of God's children through learning, through faith, and through advocacy. For all of these reasons, and for his continuing service to Stillman and the larger community, it is our pleasure, therefore, on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Stillman College, to confer upon Marvin F. Thomas the Doctor of Humane Letters with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. In token thereof, these mantles of distinction, a degree document, and a doctoral hood are presented to him, done this 6th day of May in the year of our Lord 2023, and of the college 147. Dr. Marvin F. Thomas. Jacqueline K. Richardson. A native of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, with a career over 35 years, has distinguished herself among the most notable choral directors in the Southeast United States. Having earned her Bachelor of Arts in Music from Stillman College and a Master of Arts in Music from the University of Alabama, she has directed world-class, award-winning choirs. High achievement has characterized her career. Under her direction, the Central High School Concert Choir received numerous superior ratings and was invited to perform in noted venues, including performances in Carnegie Hall. Awards for her dedication to the craft and the influence she has had on young people throughout her career include the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Humanitarian Award and the YMCA Hall of Fame in Education. Served as the Arts Facet Chair for the Links Incorporated and honored by the Arts Council of Tuscaloosa County. Jacqueline Richardson, throughout her career, has provided service to the community as well. She served on the Alabama Course of Study Committee Arts, working with music educators from across the state and with national consultants to establish music curriculum for Alabama public schools. Her career at Stillman as the Director of Choral Activities has been her most recent sharing of her gift as an educator. She has directed the choir's repertoire of sacred and secular literature from the Renaissance to the contemporary era all across the United States and in Europe. For all of these reasons, and for her continuing service to Stillman and the larger community, it is our pleasure, therefore, on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Stillman College, to confer upon Jacqueline K. Richardson the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. In token thereof, these mantles of distinction, a degree document, and a doctoral hood are presented to her, done this 6th day of May in the year of our Lord 2023, and of the college 147. Dr. Jacqueline K. Richardson. James D. Anderson, a native son of Alabama, has risen to the towering heights of academic excellence and blazed new intellectual territory with his groundbreaking study of the education of blacks in the South. He got his intellectual start at Stillman College and has shaped thinking and understanding in the field of education and history. Most recently, he served as Dean of the College of Education, the Edward William and Jane Marr Gutskill Professor of Education, and Affiliate Professor of History, African American Studies, and Law at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. His achievements are numerous. He was elected to the National Academy of Education in 2008, selected as a fellow for outstanding research by the American Educational Research Association in 2012, inducted into the Stillman College Educator Hall of Fame, and given a presidential citation from the American Educational Research Association in 2020, inducted into the American Academy of Arts and Sciences in 2021, along with numerous other honors and awards over his illustrious career as an educator, researcher, and expert in the field of education history. He served as senior editor for the History of Education Quarterly, and his seminal book, The Education of Blacks in the South, 1860 to 1935, won the American Education Research Association Outstanding Book Award. This work established foundational insights for understanding the use of educational systems by whites for the formation of pliant black workers, formulating an important understanding of the social constructions of inferiority and control. For all of these reasons, and for his continuing service to Stillman and the larger educational community, it is our pleasure, therefore, on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Stillman College, to confer upon James D. Anderson the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. In token thereof, these mantles of distinction, a degree document and a doctoral hood are presented to him. Done this 6th day of May in the year of our Lord 2023, and of the College 147, Dr. James D. Anderson. Now to deliver the 147th commencement address, Trustee James Anderson. Graduating seniors, parents, faculty, and friends, please join me in welcoming Dr. James D. Anderson.
First, good morning to graduates. Congratulations. I need to raise this, right? Is that better? Thank you. And congratulations to parents and friends and family. When I was asked to give the commencement address, one of the first things I thought about was, who was my commencement speaker at Stillman? And what did they speak about? And for the life of me, I could not remember the speaker or any contents of the speech. And then I said to myself, what goes around comes around. And I know why I did not remember, because the day was so much bigger than a speaker. Family and friends, it was the first time that my mother had ever come to Stillman, even though we're very short distance away. I'm from Utah, Alabama, born and raised there. And so she had never been to Stillman, but she came on commencement day to see me graduate, and was the first in the family to graduate from college. And the other difficult part on that day was saying goodbye to our friends. When I came here, we had one residence hall for men, John Knox Hall. So we all lived together in John Knox Hall, 2, sometimes 3 to a room. But we became very close. And in the freshman year, it just seemed like we'd have forever together. And then all of a sudden, it's commencement, and we got to go our separate ways, and we were wondering if we would ever see each other again. So it was something to see all of these grown men trying not to cry and to say goodbye, but we were overwhelmed by that. Now, you, of course, have things that we didn't have. FaceTime, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We just had the United Postal Service to keep in contact. So we were able to say goodbye, but it's something that consumed the day. And so there's a reason why. Now, I do remember my high school commencement speaker because of a parable that he told that intersected with my life very profoundly at the time, and I may come back to that. But first, I want to talk about something that happened to me since I've been here. I've spent more time on campus than I did when I was a senior here. This is the most time. I came here last Saturday, and something happened that I didn't expect, and I'm still trying to process it, and I'm still reeling from what happened. I'll tell you what happened, and then I'll put it in context of why it has affected me so profoundly. I went to the Wynn Center on Monday to hear the presentation. And I walked in, I took a seat by a gentleman. I wasn't really paying attention. We were both paying attention to the speaker. And at the end of the speech, I think he asked the first question. He asked questions about financial stability and how would the speaker address this question or that question. And then the presentation ended, and we were talking there in the audience. And so he said to another gentleman that was sitting there, I came to Stillman in 1955, graduated in 1959. I'm from Greene County. So I said, oh, I'm from Greene County also. So he said, what's your name? I said, James Anderson. And then he paused and said, don't you recognize me? And I looked, and I was trying to figure out, certainly he wasn't in my class. Is he a family member? I could not recognize him. And he could see I was drawing a blank. And finally he said, I'm Herman Hughes. And I couldn't believe it. So let me put this in context for you, because it tells me and reminds me what Stillman is all about. He was a graduate of Stillman College. When he graduated from Stillman College, he took a job as a math teacher at Carver High School in Eutaw, Alabama. In my senior year, he was my homeroom teacher. Now, there are a lot of people who look at my achievements and they think, well, he was destined to go to college. Well, my life was anything but that. I was not going to college. I did not apply to go to college. We couldn't afford. If you're ever in Eutaw, there's an old antebellum home over there on Kentucky Hill, belonged to the Banks. That's where my mother worked as their cook. They paid her $8 a week and gave us a place to stay. You can't go to college on $8 a week. You can hardly make ends meet. Eventually, she took a second job cleaning churches, and we helped out. So I knew that I was not going to college. My brother graduated a year before me. He went to New Jersey, got a job, spent the rest of his life there working and living. He didn't go to college. We simply couldn't afford. Yeah. So my senior year, I entered the senior year. What I was thinking about not going to college was really trying to make some money to buy some school clothes. fact, I had a brilliant idea that turned out to be a disaster. My brother never forgave me for it. I had learned that they were taking a group of people to Cape Charles, Virginia, to pick tomatoes and earn money, that we could earn a lot more money than we could earn in Utah, Alabama. So I said, oh, I'm going. And my mother said, well, you can't go unless your brother go with you. And he looked at me and said, this is another one of your bright ideas. I can tell you that this is a bad one. But she made him go. So we went to Cape Charles, Virginia, and I got there and realized that I was a migrant worker. And we were living in a migrant camp, picking tomatoes. Now, if you think picking cotton or chopping cotton or corn is hard work, try picking tomatoes. So he left me there and went to New Jersey. I worked there better part of May, June, July, and half of August, and came back. I had a total of $16 after that many months of work. They take out insurance, they take out rent, they take out, as soon as you make it. I was reminded of later of that line in Marvin Gaye's song in the Inner City Blues where he says, money we make it, before we can spend it, you take it. And they were taking it. So I came back to my senior year, and I wasn't thinking about college. I was actually thinking about football, playing football. I was on the football team, and then on the basketball, I had other kinds of things to really think about. I once had a colleague in Illinois who asked me the question, if you knew you weren't going to college, why were you doing so well in school? And I said, well, there are just 3 words you may not understand. And the 3 words are Annie Bird Anderson. That's why you did well in school. It didn't matter whether you were going to college or not. It was a matter of personal pride and how you represented yourself and how you represented her. And so you can do well in school even if you don't plan to go to college. In fact, I think sometimes we do too much to say to young people, do well in school because you can get a better job. We should also say do well in school just to represent yourself. Do well in school for personal pride, for personal responsibility. There are other reasons. But anyway, I went through and I did not know much about Stillman College. The only time I came to Stillman was when this is where we played in Birthright, our district basketball tournament. So we would come up and play in the tournament, and we would stay, well, I said we would stay until we met the mighty Druid Dragons. And then we were bounced out and we went back home. But at any rate, we got to commencement senior year, and in the spring of it, Mr. Hughes, now Dr. Hughes, who is an illustrious alumni of Stillman College, by the way. If you look him up on what George Bush called the Google, if you go to the Google, you will see a very, very distinguished scholar. He went on to get a PhD in computer science, and then he took a job at Michigan State University where he became a distinguished professor. His field was wireless networking, long before many people were in that area, and he created one of the more internationally known labs in the field that he was director of. And so I could follow his career from a distance at Illinois. He was at Michigan State, I'm at Illinois, we're in the same Big Ten conference, but our paths really never crossed. Okay. So he announced to the class that I was the valedictorian, and back in the day, you had to go to see the principal. The principal said to me, I've already ordered your speech. Now you may say, well, what was that all about? Well, that was because at that time, you were expected to remember a speech word for word and give it to the audience, because family, friends, and community. But they didn't trust you to make your own speech. So he ordered the speech, came in, I saw the title was called On the Brink of Change. So I thought for a moment, well, maybe this speech is about the emerging civil rights revolution, which would have been a great interest to me. It wasn't about that at all. It was about atomic energy and how it was going to change everybody's life. So I was trying to get out giving the speech. So I asked Mr. Hughes if I could accept the honor and someone else could give the speech. And he was like, no. Then he said, this is poetic justice for you. You spent your whole high school career avoiding being in the public like this, but you got to do this. So anyway, came time for commencement, and we were practicing. Then on commencement day, we all lined up just like we were lined up here today. And he comes to me and said, I need to see you in my homeroom. That scared me to death, because I already knew that 3 of my classmates had been pulled out of the line and could not graduate. 2 for disciplinary reasons, and 1 because he failed to take a course. So I'm asking myself, why am I being pulled into his classroom? I know I didn't have any disciplinary problems. Did I forget to take a requirement or something? So I'm nervously following him to the classroom. I get in there, and he says to me, I want you to know, because this will be announced before you give your speech, and I don't want you to forget it, that you have a scholarship to Stillman College. I didn't know what to think. Because I wasn't thinking about going to college. And I'm sitting there thinking, and you don't want me to forget this speech, and you just changed my whole life. So I'm thinking now there's going to be an announcement before I give the speech so my mother will know. And she had no idea that her son was going to have a chance to go to college. So I'm thinking I can't look at her during this time. So I go out, and when I get on the stage, the principal comes over, Principal Beasley. He says to me, the school bell is going to ring while you're giving your speech. We can't turn it off. So you got to pause until the bell finishes and then start up again. But don't forget your speech. No pressure, right? So anyway, I was able to give the speech. And he was only there that year before he left. And I graduated and came to Stillman. He actually ended up at Druid, I found out later, before he went to graduate school. But our paths never crossed. So Monday, I take a seat in the Wind Center next to this gentleman, and that's when he says, don't you know who I am? I was so stunned. And we talked after the speech for a while, maybe an hour and a half, and he looked at me, and I had to tell him, I said, the reason I didn't recognize you, because I did not expect you to look this young. I'm just going to be frank. He looks young and fit. There's no way I would have guessed that that was my homeroom teacher. Yeah. Looks younger than me. So at any rate, we talked for a while, and he looked and he says, you know what? I thought that I would never see you again. And I said the same to him. But it embodies what I think of Stillman. There was a Stillman graduate that took a job in a high school, Carver High School. He knew that I had no way to go to college. He done his job. I mean, after all, I graduated valedictorian. I got the best math student award in my senior year. He'd done his job. But for him, it was not enough. I didn't apply to Stillman. I didn't apply to any college. I wasn't going to fool myself that I could go to college when I just had no money. He came to Stillman, talked to Dean Hardy, and asked Dean Hardy to take a chance on me. So I remember the scholarship was in Dean Hardy's handwriting. I wish I kept it. I think it's somewhere in my files. But he had that John Hancock kind of signature. And by the way, as an aside, this year I got an email from a professor at George Washington University named Bradley Hardy. And Bradley Hardy says, I was reading your bio, and it seems that you may have crossed paths with my grandfather. And so I wrote him back. I said, I not only crossed paths with your grandfather gave me the only chance to go to college when he gave me that scholarship. Yeah. And so I said, I remember the Hardys, was it Leon or Lord is your father? He says, Leon. I said, I remember the Hardys because they were with the Druid Dragons, and they're the ones who always bounce us out of the tournaments. And his father wrote me, and I wrote back, I said, you know, I've been meaning to ask this question. We were 16, 17-year-old skinny kids. You guys look like grown men. I said, were you really 16 and 17? You look like you were 24, 25. And we went back and forth, but it was a strange connection to connect back with the Hardys, since Dean Hardy was the one who gave me the scholarship. I tell you this, because people often think about what's the Stillman brand. You are the Stillman brand. Wherever you go, you will touch the lives of people. And if you conduct yourself in such a way and help and assist, people will ask, where did you go to college? I mean, when I went to Illinois, they started to ask me, just because of my achievements there, even in graduate school, well, where did you go to college? I said, Stillman College. And then they would tell their, you can hear better now? And then they would tell their friends, oh, he went to Spelman. And they couldn't get the joke. And they said, well, you went to Spelman. And I would say, I wish. And they didn't understand the joke. But I had to explain to them, Spelman is all female. And I kept making the point, I went to Stillman College. I went to Stillman College. And then they would think that, well, you had to be the brightest student at Stillman, right? I said, no way was I the brightest student at Stillman. As I was trying to keep up, I had classmates that run circles around. And I told them the story about one of my classmates. At the end of the first semester, I had a B average, and I would say, oh, I'm doing okay. Got a B average. And then I met her right outside of Winnsboro. She was crying. And I said, oh, my Lord, this child is flunked out. So I went over and talked to her. I said, what's the problem? She says, with tears in her eyes, I got a B. And I'm thinking that was the best grade that she got. So I said, well, what were your other grades? And she snapped out of it like, A's, of course. You crying because you got one B. And it said to me, you shouldn't be celebrating the fact that you got B's. You need to step it up. And so I had the tough competition here at Stillman, and it made a big difference in my life, being able to compete with my fellow students. I will just say this, Stillman was a great place for me. It broadened my education. I came in thinking that I would have a career, maybe as a math teacher or some in mathematics. Stillman was like, no, no, no. we have to broaden your education in religion, in the literary arts, and so forth. And they played a trick on us at the end of my freshman year. I think my class may have been the only class that they played this trick on. I hope so. At the end of my freshman year, they called us in for birthright, these boxes there, and I thought, wow, Stillman is great. They're going to give us a gift to take home with us. And Dean Hardy said, I want you to go to each one of those boxes and get a book. And so I remember the books. I'm picking up the books, Catcher in the Rye, Lord of the Flies, The Pearl by John Steinbeck, and Profiles in Courage by John F. Kennedy. And I was like, this is not much of a gift. I mean, we've been in books all year. And then he said, I want you to take these home for the summer because the faculty has said to me that your math and science skills are okay, but your literary quality is below par. So we want you to take these books home and say, now when you come back in the fall, we're going to give you an exam, and if you don't pass the exam, you will not be able to re-enroll. Now, I did some serious reading that summer. To this day, I don't know what Catching the Rye was about. But Lord of the Flies and Steinbeck, The Pearl, was great, and I could not put Profiles in Courage down. We came back my sophomore year, and nobody said a word. I was like, that was the trick. They got us to read all these books and no exam. Overall, I have to mention a couple of faculty because when you talk to students about an institution and what they remember, it's the faculty that they remember. It's always the faculty. It's not the dean, it's not the, it's always the faculty that made an impact in their lives. And I just want to talk about two of them as I close out here. One, my freshman year, I took a class from Geoffrey Wisden. He was teaching health and physical education. Well, Geoffrey Wisden was not only an instructor, he was the head basketball coach, and he was the head baseball coach. And soon he would be a graduate student at the University of Alabama, and became the first African American to get a degree from the University of Alabama. Okay. And when I was in grad school and later when I became a professor, I thought, how could he play all those roles? Instructor, head baseball coach, head basketball coach, and in graduate school at the same time. It was from him that I had the first interest even thinking about graduate school. Had an enormous impact on my life. And then Haywood Strickland. Both of them ended up being college presidents, Wisden at Southern University and Strickland at Wiley College. But they taught me that you could have high academic expectations, graduate school, think about it, and yet you could be yourself. You could be a regular person. You didn't have to change. And so there were a lot of faculty at Stillman that had an impact on me, but those two had a great impact. They're the ones who wrote the letters of recommendation for me to go to graduate school and so forth. And so I landed in the right place. But then when you think about it, I had nowhere else to land. I hear people say, well, I chose Stillman because I was thinking about Tuskegee, Alabama. No, Stillman chose me, and I didn't have any other options. Now, I've had great success in so many ways. But there's one thing that I did want to leave with you that I wish I had learned early on. And it's how to be an alum. I call it How to Be an Alum 101. When I left, I thought being an alum of Stillman meant keeping up with your friends, fraternity, sorority, brothers and sisters, coming back for homecoming, your class reunions, and so forth. That's not how to be an alum. That's flunking being an alum. I wish I had learned from day one to start being supportive and making contributions to Stillman College. Okay. This hit me when I was on a search committee for the presidency at the University of Illinois. We interviewed a chancellor from MIT. And we asked the question, what is a missing opportunity for the University of Illinois? He looked at us, he says, your great missed opportunity is your alumni support. You have 500,000 alums, and less than 10% are active participants and donors. He said, MIT, we have 100,000 alum, and 80,000 are active participants and donors. Alumni fill an important void. They make an important difference. So, we are approaching the sesquicentennial of Stillman College, 3 years from the 150th anniversary. And we've done well to survive. But I also know that survival is not guaranteed. We make places survive. I learned this doing research on the history of African American education, particularly African American colleges, and I discovered a list in the archives showing the African American institutions that became extinct. And I realized there were more colleges found, double the number that we have, that were founded and didn't make it, as opposed to those that were founded and made it. Alumni play such an important role in the college. So as we look forward to the sesquicentennial, we all should start to think about how to be active and supported alums. How do we make a difference in Stillman College? And so I will close with a quote by Hillel. Hillel was the Jewish scholar of the first century. And he was the one that came up with the phrase, if not us, then who? If not now, then when? That's our responsibility. Congratulations, and thank you very much.
Good morning. The 2023 class profile. Total number of candidates for graduation is 95. Total candidates for Bachelor of Arts, 37. Bachelor of Science candidates, 58. Candidates by major. Biology, 13. Business Administration, 24. Criminal Justice, 10. Childhood Education and Instructional Development, 3. English, 4. Interdisciplinary Studies, 7. Human Performance, Physical Education, 11. Journalism, 6. Music, 2. Psychology, 12. Theology, 1. And religion, 1. Candidates by honors. Bachelor of Arts, summa cum laude, 6. Bachelor of Arts, magna cum laude, 7. Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, 5. Bachelor of Arts with honors, 11. Bachelor of Science, summa cum laude, 2. Bachelor of Science, magna cum laude, 13. Bachelor of Science, cum laude, 9. And Bachelor of Science with honors, 11. This year we have 37 males and 58 females graduating. So now, would the class of 2023 please stand? President Warwick, upon the recommendation of the faculty, the approval of the Board of Trustees, and the certification by the registrar that graduation requirements have been met, I present the class of 2023 for the conferring of the degree to which each has earned.
Members of the class of 2023, I congratulate you on this occasion. By charter of the state of Alabama and the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of this college, I now confer upon you the degrees to which you are entitled and declare you graduates of Stillman College with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. Please be seated.
Hannah Fields, Memphis, Tennessee, Bachelor of Arts in English and Bachelor of Arts in Journalism, summa cum laude, highest honor. Christopher Henry, New Orleans, Louisiana, Bachelor of Arts in Music. Rulan Abaknala, Rafah, Palestine, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, summa cum laude. Carla Luca, Vance, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Religion, summa cum laude. Kiera Washington, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice, magna cum laude. Taurus McGill, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Childhood Education and Instructional Development, summa cum laude. Dejan Stoudemeyer, Montgomery, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, magna cum laude. Tamia Little, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Biology, magna cum laude. Jose Angles, Miami, Florida, Bachelor of Science in Human Performance, magna cum laude. Matthew Bayless, Dolomite, Alabama, Bachelor of Science, Interdisciplinary Studies, magna cum laude. Cynthia White, Huntsville, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Biology, magna cum laude. Samuel Mounts, Ashford, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Biology. James Craig, Mobile, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Journalism, honors. Janae Fuller, Detroit, Michigan, Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice, honors. Kalima Rogers, Linden, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in English, magna cum laude. Antonika Jones, Memphis, Tennessee, Bachelor of Science in Biology. Jaden Hubbard, Whites Creek, Tennessee, Bachelor of Arts in Journalism, summa cum laude. Stephen Parker, Columbus, Georgia, Bachelor of Arts in Journalism. Jasmine Armstead, Forkland, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Biology, magna cum laude. Ayana Green, O'Fallon, Illinois, Bachelor of Science in Biology. Asia Williams, Lithia Springs, Georgia, Bachelor of Science in Biology. Kyron Green, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Music. Helen Duncan, Fairfield, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Biology, magna cum laude. Jada Nichols, Montgomery, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Biology, magna cum laude. Shalexis Sims, Fort Deposit, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, cum laude. Kelsey Smith, Birmingham, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, cum laude. Tatiana Somerville, Aliceville, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Biology, honors. Sharstri Binion, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Bachelor of Science, Interdisciplinary Studies, magna cum laude. Antonia Petty, Birmingham, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, honors. Tyler Williams, Columbus, Mississippi, Bachelor of Science, Interdisciplinary Studies. Eric Evans, Columbus, Mississippi, Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice. Ahmad Parker, Mobile, Alabama, Bachelor of Science, Interdisciplinary Studies. George Warnsley, Mobile, Alabama, Bachelor of Science, Interdisciplinary Studies. Christian Laster, Houston, Texas, Bachelor of Arts in English, magna cum laude. Jornesia Starks, Fairfield, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Biology, honors. Javonde Robinson, Montgomery, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Journalism, honors. Tianj McGriff, Quincy, Florida, Bachelor of Science in Biology, cum laude. Taylor Rose Fulton, Atlanta, Georgia, Bachelor of Arts in English, honors. Trinity Smith, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Bachelor of Science, Interdisciplinary Studies. Samaria Garrett, Sylacauga, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. Melisha Wiggum, Waynesboro, Mississippi, Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice, cum laude. Cameron Harris, Demopolis, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, honors. Crislin Witherspoon, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Biology, cum laude. Sade Fuller, Los Angeles, California, Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice, honors. Quinisia Presley, Dotyville, Alabama, Bachelor of Science, Interdisciplinary Studies. Janique Webb Evans, Freeport, Bahamas, Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice, magna cum laude. Angelica Borders, Union Springs, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice, honors. Cameron Johnson, Linden, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, cum laude. Brianna Leonard, Birmingham, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. Xavier Anderson, Holly Springs, Mississippi, Bachelor of Arts in Journalism. Stacy Austin, Montgomery, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Theology, summa cum laude. Stephen Oates, Mobile, Alabama, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. Germany Fletcher, Dale City, Oklahoma, Bachelor of Arts, Criminal Justice, honors.
Kylon Williams, Birmingham, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Travius Johnson, Union Springs, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, cum laude. Rodney Pelt, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, cum laude. Addie Tucson, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with honors. Jessica Walker, Tupelo, Mississippi, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Cabria King, Carrollton, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, cum laude. Gavin Wilson, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, magna cum laude. Jared Hines, Ellenwood, Georgia, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. J-Ron Woods Miller, Hartford, Connecticut, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with honors. Marcus Williams, Mobile, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Naomi McGregor, Mobile, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with honors. Adonai Rice, Chelsea, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, cum laude. Jamisha York, Mobile, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with honors. Jada Kelly, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Capricia Jackson, Birmingham, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Kathleen Walker, Birmingham, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with honors. Emilys Mickens, Columbus, Mississippi, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, magna cum laude. No. Okay. Takia Porter, Bessemer, Alabama, Bachelor of Science, Psychology with honors. Corin Millerton, Daytona, Ohio, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, magna cum laude. Imani Wimbush Gay, Victoria, Texas, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with honors. Kennedy Michael Davis, Pritchard, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, magna cum laude. Keith Benison, Greensboro, Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
Varick Lawrence, Decatur, Alabama, Bachelor of Science, Human Performance. Tatiana Gibson, Decatur, Alabama, Childhood Education and Instructional Development, Honors. Jaquila Davis, Birmingham, Alabama, Bachelor of Science, Human Performance. Willie Washington, Selma, Alabama, Bachelor of Science, Physical Education, cum laude. Destiny Johnson, Dathing, Alabama, Childhood Education and Instructional Development. Balu Willard, West Georgia, Bachelor of Science, Human Performance. Darrell White, Selma, Alabama, Bachelor of Science, Human Performance, Honors. Tamayas Brand, Mobile, Alabama, Bachelor of Science, Human Performance. Taz Wynn, Bent Harbor, Michigan, Bachelor of Science, Human Performance. Bianca Edwards, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Bachelor of Science, Human Performance, Honors. Devin Lockhart, Atlanta, Georgia, Bachelor of Science, Human Performance. Desiree Tyner, Lockakey, Alabama, Bachelor of Science, Human Performance. Rael Harrison, Columbus, Mississippi, Bachelor of Science, Business Administration, cum laude.
President Warwick, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the Golden Reunion Class of 1973. They will receive their golden diplomas afterwards. Shirley Graham Burrell. Peggy A. Carpenter. Addie Joe Chambers. Althea Harris Foster. Katie Billups Gillian. Barbara Burns Hinton. Marzette Z. Hinton. Arthur Peoples James. Patricia Kemp. Geraldine Martin. Freddie Merriweather. Johnny Ryan Mullins. Johnny M. Strode. Glenn R. Pippin. Linda Price Robinson. Linda Clark Sanders. Marva S. Smith. George D. Sylvester Sr. Lord Lietta J. Wabbington. Keotris Reeves.
Good afternoon. Come on, good afternoon. I am Irving Blue, your International Alumni President, and it gives me great honor to welcome you into the International Alumni Association. I want to give you 4 things I would like for you to remember. 1, that when you walk in the room, you belong. 2, you have been prepared. 3, don't let the hate stop you. And 4, God did not bring you this far to leave you. So with those things, I will ask you to stand and you will recite the oath of allegiance. I state your name. Hereby solemnly pledge unbroken alliance to my alma mater for development afforded me as a graduate of Stillman College. I pledge active membership in the International Alumni Association. I shall forever do my best to uphold the ideas and traditions of my alma mater. I pledge to exemplify the highest ideas by rendering positive service to the community, state, and the world, thus living and respecting my alma mater. On behalf of the International Alumni Association, I welcome you to our family, and there's no greater hand than another alumni. For that, we welcome you.
You may be seated. It's my pleasure to invite Donald W. Comer, Chairman of the Stillman College Board of Trustees, for a special recognition.
In 2017, I had the honor of being invited to a dinner, at which time I met Cynthia Warwick. At the time that I met Dr. Warwick, I had a master's degree and I had a bachelor's degree, both from predominantly white institutions. And at that time, still one of my biggest regrets that I had never attended a historically black college. Shortly thereafter, Dr. Warwick invited me to become a member of the Board of Trustees at Stillman College. And Stillman College was my first HBCU. And Dr. Warwick was my first HBCU president. And to this day, I honor that relationship, I respect that relationship, and when I took this position as chairman of the Board of Trustees, it was the time to renegotiate her contract. I walked into the room excited about the opportunity and what we two could do together, and Dr. Warwick shared with me I'm going to retire. So to a lot of us, it's been new, but I've had 2 years to lament over what she said to me on that day. But what I'm very proud of, despite having 2 years to work up to this day and to this time, her momentum has never wavered. Her commitment to Stillman has never diminished. And even today, she is still prepared to continue to be invested in this great college. Having said all of that, whereas Cynthia Warwick was named the 7th president of Stillman College in 2017 and was the first woman to serve in that position, and whereas she has been a transformational leader in her position at the college, immediately opening the campus to community organizations and seeking to renew relationships with local community, the local government, and business organizations. And whereas she restored the covenant relationship the college had long held with the Presbyterian Church USA through regular attendance and reporting to the Presbytery of Shepherds and Lapsley and the Synod of Living Waters, and whereas her attention to matters crucial to the survival of the college led her to work with the coalition of over 40 HBCUs who were struggling with onerous debt, and their partnership led to an initial deferment and a subsequent loan forgiveness that moved $40 million off the college's books. I want to stop right there because we ought to all be on our feet celebrating the fact that we are $40,000 better off than we were, all because of her leadership. And not only did that impact Stillman at $40 million, it impacted the state of Alabama at the tune of $300 million, and through her leadership, the total impact among HBCUs was $1 billion. And whereas enrollment at the college was steadily growing under her leadership prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, and she led the college through that challenge with innovation and insightful public health planning and implementation that kept the campus cases to a minimum. And whereas she led the college through its 2020 decennial reaffirmation of accreditation by SAC COC without recommendation or without requirement for any further reporting. That too is unheard of among HBCUs. Be it now resolved by proposal of the college and approval by the Board of Trustees to recognize Cynthia Warwick by bestowing upon her the title of President Emerita of Stillman College in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, in testament to which we set our signatures, done this 6th day of May in the year of our Lord, 2023, and of the college 147th year. Donald Comer, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, and Joe Hampton, Secretary, Board of Trustees. And the last thing that I'd like to say, those who know about roses know that roses, yellow roses in particular, recognize friendship. Dr. Warwick, you've been a tremendous friend of this college, and we hope and we pray and we know that you will continue to be a friend of Stillman College and be invested in our future. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as our celebration comes to a close, we want to give thanks again to Dr. Anderson, alumnus and trustee member, for his comments today. want to recognize the Stillman College Board of Trustees that are with us this morning. We want to give our thanks again to family and friends of the graduates.
Go, it is my prayer and hope that the God of resurrection burn away the haze of fear, clear your hearts to face tomorrow, bright with hope's unfading cheer. Through the future's vast unfolding, in each new creation breathe, God of resurrection's splendor, shine in triumph over death. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and give you peace. Amen.